Hey, I'm Amy. If you haven't seen me here before, that's because I'm new to YouTube. After much thought and deliberation, I finally mustered up the energy to start my own little corner of this website. My focus is going to be mostly based on cozy hobbies like gaming and reading, but don't be surprised if I go on tangents about my other interests like playing music and horror movies. I'm a multifaceted person, what can I say? So before I got into cozy gaming, my understanding of what a game could be was limited to first-person shooters and Super Mario. I had gaming consoles as a kid, but I often gave up on the games that frustrated me or had too much shooting and combat. I played The Sims and The Sims 2, but that was a long time ago. In short, I didn't think gaming was for me. I wasn't very immersed in the world of gaming until about a year ago, in fact. And I was in for an embarrassment of riches due to the sheer number of games that cater to my gaming style and preferences. I've been regularly gaming for about a year now, and it's astonishing just how many lighthearted, narrative-driven, and adventurous games are available for people like me. I feel like I've barely scratched the surface of what's out there. Since I'm new to YouTube, I thought I could do a get-to-know-me video in a different way. From heavily narrative-based to cute puzzles to get your mind off of things relaxing, the games I gravitate towards are typically ones that feel engaging but not terribly difficult in terms of playability. Basically, if the game clicks with me and I play through most of it, if not the entire game, then it's a hit in my book. Just a side note, you unfortunately will not find any Switch exclusives on this list. I only play on my PC and Steam Deck, but I'm sure that I'll be a Switch girly at some point though. So before we dive in, please make sure you like this video, and if you're so inclined, subscribe to the channel so you never miss new cozy content. Here I have for you my favorite cozy, or what I deem to be cozy, games that I've ever played. PowerWash Simulator, the one that started it all for me. When I tell most people about PowerWash Simulator, they think I'm cuckoo bananas for merely suggesting that a game based entirely around cleaning is cozy, albeit fun. Luckily, it's majorly caught on in the gaming world in the past year, and for good reason. In PowerWash Simulator, you play as a power washing professional that's hired by a variety of clients in a fictional town that's apparently very dirty. From garden paths to a full-on fire station, you get to clean a variety of buildings, objects, and vehicles. Plus, the developers regularly add bonus levels and DLCs, including collaborations with Tomb Raider and SpongeBob SquarePants. What I love most about PowerWash Simulator is that it's incredibly relaxing. It's one of those games where you can just put on a podcast or music and zone out for a little while, making it perfect for unwinding after a stressful day. Also, the level of satisfaction you get from completing a job is unmatched. Although PowerWash Simulator doesn't have the cutesy graphics that most associate with cozy gaming, it does lend itself to snuggling up after a long day and immersing yourself in a world of filthy objects that need to be thoroughly cleaned. Okay, maybe that's not the best sales pitch, but try it out for yourself and you'll know exactly what I mean. PowerWash Simulator is available on Steam for Windows, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. And just a side note, it plays wonderfully on the Steam Deck. Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles. As I mentioned before, I don't love combat, so that unfortunately rules out a lot of games for me. But something I did enjoy in a game, like, say, Kingdom Hearts, was the ability to explore. For some reason, I believed that exploration and adventure games equaled rigorous fighting and beating difficult bosses. Then I came across Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles. Yonder is a beautifully designed open-world exploration game that involves crafting, collecting, and farming. Your character is shipwrecked on the magical island of Gamia. As it turns out, the island is plagued by a mysterious fog called the Murk. In Yonder, you venture across Gamia, meeting a host of NPCs, unlocking new territory, and checking off tasks from your list in order to progress in the game. While this might sound stressful and grindy, it's quite the opposite. Yonder allows you to complete tasks when you get around to them, and it doesn't feel limiting in terms of what you're able to do. I swear I found new nooks and crannies in Gamia even after 2 solid weeks of gameplay. In fact, the exploration part of Yonder is my favorite aspect of the game. The developers absolutely nailed this part of the game. And although I'm a new gamer, I simply haven't found another one that scratches the same itch. Plus, you run into a bunch of cute fictional animals that you can trick into following you around. Honestly, is there anything better? If you love open-world exploration games but don't care for the typical grind of a farming sim, I highly recommend checking out Yonder. Yonder, the Cloudcatcher Chronicles is available on Steam for Windows, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. Speaking from personal experience, Yonder plays wonderfully on the Steam Deck. Lake. Do you want to quit your demanding corporate job and escape to picturesque Oregon to live a simple life as a mail carrier? That's what our protagonist, Meredith Weiss, is considering in the narrative adventure game, Lake. You play as Meredith as she returns to her hometown of Providence Oaks, Oregon, to fill in for her dad at the post office while he's away. Lake is very much a choose-your-own-adventure game where every interaction with the townsfolk directly impacts how the story ends. Plus, you get to drive around in a mail truck delivering letters and packages to familiar faces. A little tip from me to you, go easy on the gas. With impressive voice acting, compelling storytelling, and gorgeous scenery, Lake ticks all of my boxes for an engaging and relaxing gameplay experience. This may be up for debate, but I absolutely love the game's soundtrack, which plays through the mail truck speakers as you go about your daily deliveries. I even pulled out my guitar at one point to play along to one of my favorites, a song titled Witchcraft. Lake is available on Steam for Windows, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. In case you're considering this for Steam Deck, I played it on this system and it had quite a few bugs, specifically audio issues where dialogue cut out and the music stopped playing. However, it has been over a year since I've played it, and even with the issues, I found it to be a really enjoyable game. Unpacking. Earlier, I mentioned how PowerWash Simulator offers a soothing and satisfying feeling as you work through the game. That's the same feeling I get from Unpacking, a pixelated puzzle game that focuses on organizing, all while managing life's many ups and downs. At first glance, Unpacking doesn't seem to establish a specific character or story, but as you work through each level, a compelling narrative unfolds. The central character, whose belongings you're sorting, transitions from childhood to college and experiences different living arrangements with roommates and partners. Side note, one partner in particular makes their home incredibly unwelcoming, which becomes apparent when you realize there's not quite enough space for the main character's things to go. Like, move your shit out of the way, my guy. Although Unpacking is, when it comes down to it, a puzzle game, I found myself moved by the story. Plus, the game is pretty replayable and has a chill lo-fi beats-like soundtrack to vibe out to. Also, I would be a terrible person if I didn't let you know that Unpacking has an extensive line of merchandise, including the plushies from the game. I'll link the shop in the description. Just don't blame me for draining your bank account. Unpacking is available on Steam for Windows, Mac, and Linux, as well as Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PlayStation 5. And I played this on the Steam Deck, just to let you know. Coffee Talk. Magical beings and humans coexist in the visual novel Coffee Talk. You play as a coffee shop barista working the night shift, slinging all kinds of coffee and tea-based drinks to a cast of colorful characters. From vampires to elves, your customers all have one thing in common. They need a warm beverage to take their minds off what's going on in their lives. And it's crucial to get those drinks right. The way you prepare drinks influences your relationship with a character and shapes the storyline. Coffee Talk is such a chill game with a hypnotic lo-fi beats soundtrack that's perfect for unwinding after a long day. While you do need to pay attention to the stories as well as the customers' orders, it's still one of the best games available to get your mind off of things. Now, if I could only remember Gala's favorite drink, maybe he wouldn't get so mad at me. Coffee Talk is available on Steam for Windows and Mac, as well as Nintendo Switch. I played this on Steam Deck and it runs perfectly. Spiritfarer. Open world exploration, resource management, and emotional storytelling make up the beating heart of Spiritfarer. In it, you play as Stella, the titular Spiritfarer, as she guides spirits through what only can be described as a very inviting and not scary at all limbo to the afterlife, all on her magnificent ship that you can upgrade as the story progresses. Stella, who was a nurse in her past life, travels from territory to territory to gather items for her guests, helping them come to terms with and accept their deaths. I have to admit, I was devastated when I completed the main storyline of Spiritfarer. It felt like I really went on this journey with Stella, and much like her shipmates, I had to accept an end to the story. Death and grief are handled so beautifully in Spiritfarer, and the game's mechanics are on point. If you don't mind heavy themes, I absolutely recommend this game to get lost in. Spiritfarer is available on Steam for Windows, Mac, and Linux, as well as Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. After putting dozens of hours into it, I'm happy to report that Spiritfarer runs perfectly on Steam Deck. Mutazione. I think that's how you say it. Mutazione. Another heavily narrative-based game, Mutazione is set on the island of Mutazione. After a meteor strike, the island has become inhabited by mutants. Your character, Kai, travels to meet her grandfather, the island's gardener, for the first time as his death is imminent. As a result, the island's plants are dying, and Kai must learn her grandfather's trade to ensure the community thrives. This is just the sweetest and coziest little game, and it's really easy to pick up and immerse yourself in. If you're a reader, you'll love the attention to detail and heart that was put into developing the story, and each character too. It's a combination of all of these elements that makes me easily consider Mutazione to be one of my favorite cozy games I've ever played. Mutazione is available on Steam for Windows and Mac, as well as Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4. Mutazione runs super well on Steam Deck, in case you're wondering. So now that you've gotten to know me a little, I'd love to know about you. Comment below to let me know your favorite games, or if there are any I should check out based on my faves. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.